Ooh, and welcome
to
Tech Town.
That's right. This is it.
This is it. I'm Mr. Ellsberg. This is our town wizard.
Hello.
Welcome to Tech Town, where we talk all things tech all of the time for your viewing pleasure.
Tech Town.
Tech Town, and we are here on our 22nd episode, season 2. Which is some kind of significance.
It is. Episode 22 doesn't sound that significant.
No.
Season 2, that's pretty impressive. But you know what it is?
What's that?
It's the Big 5-0.
Oh my gosh, half a century has gone down in the books.
That's right.
That's right. We are recording live from Roy Town.
That's right. And I want to give a shout out to our live studio audience. It's the first time we've had a serious live studio audience.
Yes.
That's right.
We're live here for everybody that's watching online.
That's right.
Yes.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you. And that's pretty much where our thank you stop, because we've really done all of this ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. We appreciate you guys making it here.
Yeah.
But the rest was us. Nice.
No, yeah. So thank you for being here today. But you guys are some, well, way to go. Fair weather fans.
So what did we do? How did we get here? What is this?
The history. So it started a while ago, but to really quickly go into it, I teach at a school in Gresham, and in talking, it's an online charter school, and in talking with the town wizard, I realized that I had an awesome resource on my hands as being someone who is a teacher myself, and just in talking with you, I knew that we had to somehow get you to hang out with me more so I could pick up some of the cool things that you were talking about all the time, and it just got me into the mood for learning and stuff, because sometimes you get burnt out as a teacher. And Danny, the town wizard, just has a natural knack for teaching, and I wanted to make sure that we hung out more often.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I appreciate that, and I totally agree. And it was an interesting compliment, because I came into this thinking I am a tech guy and I like to run my mouth, but how do I actually facilitate this? How do I do this in a useful way? Can I teach people with this? How do I hang out with this guy more and also feed off that energy? Because a lot of people have an idea and then don't do anything about it, or maybe will listen to your idea and say, oh, that's interesting, but not care that much. Right. But then there are some people who say, that's a good idea, that's a really good idea, let's do it, and let's see it through. And so that's where he came in, and he had the actual teacher side of it, the credentials.
Right, and that's part of it too, is that you told me that when we first started, that a lot of people have a lot of ideas, but are they going to do it? And I think part of that too, I was like, you know what? I'm going to prove you right.
Good, yeah. Whatever it takes. So good work, yeah. So, and then that was just the spark that ignited the fire. So once we decided, and your reason, at least at first, was for your school kids to have something that they could get into. So that was a good avenue to focus it on something useful. There's so much tech out there that's, waste of time, or it's fleeting, or you see this thing on Twitter or this headline and you kind of don't care. Yeah. But there is good stuff out there, and I want to teach it to people, and it can be not just good, but useful even for high school kids. So I thought that was a good filter to try and filter my crazy tech stuff through.
Right, and we've gone through so many trials and tribulations to figure out some type of technique or practice that works for us in some sort of way. We've gone through a few different programs of recording video that were some were more interactive than others. We're controlling chat boxes on the side. We've had computers that did work, that didn't work. We tried different cameras, different speaker setups. We've gone all over the place. Today we set up a bunch of stuff that's probably gonna blow up.
Yeah, that's true, but that's what we do, and that's part of Tech Town, and we've worked out a pretty good system. Yeah. And it's true, to get up and running and to be able to do some sort of show for people, it just, takes learning. So we've pushed through all the crazy tech adversity, which is actually, part of the show. So we can do it live on the air. But
we're role modeling for all of you.
Hopefully figuring it out. So, and this, I got to give a shout out sometimes to Google Hangouts on Air. That's how we're bringing this to people. Really, it's because it's on YouTube and it can be live.
Right. And so YouTube is great, except when you accidentally play a video that's copyrighted.
Ah, yes, seeking of trials and tribulations. So it turns out when you want to promote somebody's music, you can't, and the copyright police come and get you. So we tried on this show to play a clip of music from a website because we have the music segment of the week. And it was a music video of a cool band that it was a really cool concept for a music video. So we just played about 20 seconds of it saying, this is a great music video. Go check it out. Here's the link to the free music video that
on an awesome website that everyone should use.
And then we got a notice from YouTube saying, nope, your video has been taken down. It has copyrighted music material on it. So it had scanned, and this is what YouTube does, it scans the audio of everything that's being uploaded. It recognized this copyrighted song. The studio or the label that produced the song already had an agreement saying anytime someone posts this song, you got to take it down. So it got taken down, but I fought the system and got it back up there. So
yeah, that's right.
That's good. Yeah,
and that's why everyone needs a little bit of tech savvy skills, because there's going to be good robots and there's going to be bad robots.
Yeah, and that's really the other purpose of Tech Town, is to tell you guys which are the good robots from the bad. Man, that's a tough choice to make in this crazy world.
Which is a little bit of a segue, and we're going to get right into the meat of what we're talking about today.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, we could just sit up here and talk about every single episode and every single shenanigan that we had, and we'd find it imminently interesting. I mean, you guys don't have the key. You don't know that you have to have a key on the outside to get out of this place.
That's right.
Yeah, you guys
live redo of all the Tech Town.
All right. Yeah, that's right. And we have an escape latch. There's nothing you can do. We don't want to watch that. We hate watching ourselves.
We get to stay? Yeah, that's true. Right. Oh, well, I want it back. All right. Well, ixnay on that plane.
Okay, so we're going to jump right into it. Today we're talking saving the world with all things tech.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to save the world with tech. This isn't just about week to week. We're going to learn a little this and that. This is about, we have some really big problems in the world. And there are some tech solutions, or at least things that'll help.
We're talking like centuries old problems where everyone's had to deal with, that there's no answer for, that, I mean, nihilists don't think that there's an answer for. They're excited for it.
That's true.
But yeah, no, these are the things we're just like, hey, let's just bite off the biggest chunk that we can. We're going to
It's the 50th episode. Come on, let's solve all the world's problems. That's the whole point.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
You ready for this? That's right. All right.
Okay, that's enough. Okay.
Okay. All right, so jumping right into it. So first of all, I want to know, what are these world problems that we're talking about? Because obviously tech can solve all these world problems, but what are they? What are we talking about?
Well, first up, how's everyone going to eat all the time? Yeah, world hunger.
Okay, world hunger, huh? All right.
Yeah.
So, world hunger. How are we going to solve it? Yeah. But this is what we're doing. We're taking on the big issues. All right, so world hunger. First of all, the number one way we're going to solve world hunger is soil it. So I happen to have here just a little sample for you guys, our in-studio audience, of some Soylent.
That's right.
Check this out. This is real. This is the food from the future. This is a Silicon Valley startup has started a company that makes this stuff, and it is food replacement. It is full on, like, it has all the stuff your body needs. So they have people that have been using this for months, or eating it, or whatever you call it, for months. Just this. You can mix it with regular food or whatever, but you make it into this drink, like a shake, and 3 times a day you drink it or eat it or whatever, and your body should be fine and healthy.
That's right. You never have to leave your computer chair.
That's the idea.
So I think that's it. And if you actually look at the back, I'm going to show the computer screen, and then we're going to send some up to the audience. This is probably the funniest looking vitamin chart that I've ever seen. There's like so much space. I don't know if they're trying to market like something with that.
Oh yeah, it just means that there's everything. There's everything in here. So it's made basically out of, like, chart. Wheats and oatmeals and proteins and vitamins, and they just stuff everything in there. And they took the tech approach to it, where they have this really nice polished looking page. Let's take a look at their website real quick. You can see what their image is. It's pretty futuristic. They really try to say you can replace food, and they also they understand what they're saying is crazy. So there are times when they really need to back up their claims, and they do. So it sounds crazy, but a good example. Here's some of the benefits of this. Right. So some of the benefits of number one is time. The idea is that we spend so much time cooking, and we could save time. Money, you spend a lot of money, and theoretically, these bags that you can order a bunch of at once will bring the cost of each meal down to $3 a meal. And nutrition, It has everything healthy that your body needs. So, okay, you look at that and it's like, come on, this is crazy. We don't need to replace food. What are they doing? I agree, but don't think of it as a food replacement. I think that's the wrong way to look at this thing. What I look at this as is, number one, an emergency food. So this stuff stays good for 3 years. It's just a powder. You guys can see this in a second. I'll actually make some for you, but it's just a powder, and you mix it with water. And
oh yeah, that's the face you want to make every time there's some food served your way.
Yeah, you want some toilet? No, okay. So let me plead my case. This is trying to convince
decomposed user is used for every next soil. Isn't what not the Soylent, the whole Soylent Green?
So yeah, okay. Let's right. It's actually not made out of people. If you guys were thinking it's made out of people, it's not. That was just the movie.
Those are rumors.
And what's great is even on their website, they have to say in places, they say not people, just to address the issue. So emergency food, right? You can buy a bunch of these things, keep them in your pantry, and then if an earthquake happens or something, you have a fully nutritious, huge supply of food. So for anybody that either has a little bit of a supply, no supply, or a supply that's going to go bad, it's something to think about.
I don't see anything on there that says not people, so...
Oh, it's on there.
Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and not believe you.
Okay, well, maybe they start adding people. The other thing is, this is...
I didn't use Control F, by the way, so I'm not sure if that's...
Haven't you learned anything from that? So this is version 1.4 of Soylent. So they start at 1.0, and they've upgraded. So they have their release notes. They talk about now it's easier on the stomach, and they've traded this out for that. It used to come with a bottle of oil that you had to mix with the powder. Now it's just the powder and water. So, they're making big strides over at Soylent. So, all right, let's do a quick little taste. We'll do a taste after this, and you can blend it up. You can add other little flavorings. So the other reason this isn't crazy, instead of replacing all of your meals with this stuff, every once in a while, if you were going to go out and eat something unhealthy or expensive, you could replace it with that. So imagine, and I've been doing this. One of the reasons I got this, because I knew I was going to be programming a lot. I was going to be up in my little room. I'm working on my commentator app, and I'm programming.
Soylent for programmers.
Exactly.
You may see their bodies under all clothes all the time, away from everyone else.
And when that has to happen, it's the perfect product. So yeah, it turns out if you just need to eat a quick breakfast or a quick lunch, it's not a bad way to do it. So I would say it's crazy to completely get rid of food, obviously. And I've been eating a lot of food, and it's great. But the Soylent thing has its place in the world somewhere. Yeah. All right. So, okay, that's one way to solve world hunger. But actually, there are more realistic ways to solve world hunger, too. So, okay, there's a couple that they have a bad rap, too, which is interesting. So I'm curious where you stand on some of the things. Number one is fertilizers.
Right, more ground up dead stuff.
Ground up dead stuff.
Yep.
It turns out that helps things grow.
Okay.
There was a huge revolution in farming, and many times over, too, because at first it was just farming as a thing in general. But now these fertilizers are being able to grow crops in places that weren't able to grow crops.
Right. They also brought potato blight, I'm pretty sure.
They may have too. So, they may have. So right. what the question is, are there times in the world for us to use fertilizers that we've come up with to grow crops for people that wouldn't have them otherwise?
And you would answer yes.
I think that the answer is yes. Okay. It's just when and how, and the details. I think a lot of people's answer is no, flat no. And my answer is, well, let's at least look at this, because we're at a point in our world that we're just kind of overpopulated and so crazy that sometimes you have to really save people with technology, and there are cases where I'm okay with that.
Now, are you saying like not using like organic matter or things that are traditionally creating fertilizer? Because people are going to use fertilizer. They use fertilizer regardless of whatever, and that's there.
Right.
Hey, a volcano just went off. Woo!
Yeah, that's sure.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think the reason it's a good question is because the line is blurry. This line between what's okay and what's organic or what's not, you can figure out what's organic. That's not that blurry of a line. But as far as what's okay or what are the consequences, it is kind of blurry. Some of these things may take generations to figure out. They may make the soil worse after 1 generation or 10. So I think my stance on this is that fertilizers are an option, and it is something that you can bring to the table, but don't bring it to the table lightly, like pretty much everything we're going to talk about.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like soiling.
Yeah, don't talk about soiling lightly.
Yeah, don't just use all of the fertilizer. Don't just eat all of the soil.
No. Okay. Yeah. See, everything in moderation. That's one of the themes of this thing. Okay. Next, kind of fun one. I saw an article about this. There's this, and actually, let's pull this one up if you can. This one is about extending the shelf life of foods. So this Israeli created innovation. The article that we have here says, could it end world hunger? You always have to watch out for the internet because they're always going to say the hyperbole. You're going to say, this is the new way to save the world. And really, that's what we're talking about. So maybe it is. But in this way, it may not save the world, but what they could do is save a lot of produce that goes bad. So what they're saying is that between 1/3 and half of the food grown today never makes it to market. Yeah. So it's all this food that just doesn't even make it to the shelves, let alone make it to people and then go bad. So if you could preserve food even longer, maybe that's another way to tackle it.
Right. And so we've already obviously found a lot of technologies when it comes to preserving food, say canning food or salting food or drying food or something like that. So there's something beyond that.
Yeah, what they have is they have an actual product. I think it was talking about a spray where you can actually just protect and it just won't go bad. It's cryogenics or something.
Keeps you fresh.
Yeah. See what here, the other thing that TechTown is great for is telling you the general idea of something and then putting the link there for you to go actually figure it out. So I'll throw something out there. You guys figure out if it sticks. All right. Okay, now it's similar to fertilizers, heated debate, GMOs.
Okay.
Also a gray line. Okay, so GMOs can be anything from crossbreeding species to more chemical and messing with genetics. Okay. So there really is this sort of dividing line between, are you going to mess with something's genes in the lab versus you're just breeding plants as everybody did. Right. So breeding plants, people have been breeding plants for a long time to make them grow in different parts of the world. So like
corn, for instance, would be a prime example of that. There's no kind of basis for it to grow in nature by itself. It's basically been developed by people over a long, long period of time.
Okay.
All right. Then there's the dogs that glow in the dark because they've spliced jellyfish into them.
Right. Not so natural. Exactly. So that's kind of that's a good analogy for these things. They have this sort of thing that didn't exist, and then these things that shouldn't exist.
Right. Okay. So you're saying that we should eat in the glow in the dark dogs?
I'm saying consider it. I'm saying consider it, and here's why. Again, there are places in the world that don't have food. It's in a way going to these people and saying, we have this food, it exists, but we're not going to give it to you. So to me, when I think of GMOs, I think of the problems are long-term, we got to figure out if it's messing with us. True. But the politics, it's the politics of it. It's how to get these seeds to other places and not to sue people over using your Monsanto seeds. And it's how to test this properly and how to make sure you're not crossing any lines. But the fact that certain crops can be helped to grow in places that they couldn't be, or bigger, growing bigger food could be okay.
So most population booms are because all of a sudden a large piece of land or something like that now becomes arable or becomes accessible, something like that.
Yep.
So all of these crazy mutant puppies are only going to be able to live in Antarctica or something like that.
But where else would they live?
Millions of them would grow and live and love to live.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, now we can use that area.
All right, so now that we solved GMOs, all right. One question I was thinking is there any way to do this sort of thing organically? So we've been talking about the tech, but can you do, it's still using technology, it's still using farming and growing things around the world, but can you do organic farming sustainably for the whole world? Can that solve world hunger? Right. Because that would be the ideal. We all want to say, I don't want GMOs, I don't want any of this fancy stuff. Well, is it even possible to feed the number of mouths we have in the world using the technology we have? So
I didn't realize you were going to bring up birth control, but is that the topic you wanted to talk about?
Oh, well, not yet. We're getting there. We're getting there. But I'm talking, no. So here, we have a link that tries to answer this question too. But so can we do this organically? Their answer is basically yes. That's the bottom line. What it does is it involves technology, though. So it's about distribution. It's about growing the right crops in the right places and doing the research to figure out which crops you should grow in the right places. So here you go. I think the answer is most likely yes. Again, it's politics. Can we actually get it done? But I think what I like about that question is that it says, I accept the fact that technology will help us, but I still want organic food. And I think there is something to be said for organic food. So it's not like we have to go with GMOs and we have to go with fertilizer all the time. Right. But technology will be involved.
And maybe those things can help us to the point in which we can get to a stage in which we don't have to use them. When we wean ourselves off.
That would be the idea, yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So, how about all these people?
How about all these people? Okay.
Yeah, so we got all these people we got to feed. That's maybe we got too many people.
That is maybe another issue here, right? So we're going to talk about the topic of overpopulation.
Okay.
That is maybe one of the biggest problems I see in the world. I mean, you have just too many people for the land and resources that we have. Mm-hmm. So you can almost think of any other problem, and it really has its roots in overpopulation. So yeah, and I think there's things that we can do about it. There are technical helps and solutions out there. So speaking of birth control,
we are going to get into
it, yeah. So birth control, that's an amazing technology. It really is kind of the most direct help for overpopulation that we know of.
Right.
So if you have less kids, the world gets less big.
So you're saying we should grow more genetically modified sheep for their skin?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
Birth control.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Should they glow in the dark too? Or?
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. You go to the local 7-Eleven, you'll find all these weird products. Okay, so one thing I thought was interesting is birth control has been around for a little while. There's a bunch of different ways and means, but one of them that is having another attempt at it is male birth control. Mm-hmm. So they've been trying in different ways for a little bit of time, but they do have one at least method that seems like it'll work. So I don't know, it seems like it works. So I think it's a lot of it about getting it regulated and distribution and everything. So, but that's coming down the pike.
Nice. Like to hear that. And then obviously there are other ways, right?
Yeah. So instead of just preventing kids from being born, you can have other ways that will just educate people to have less kids. So education is a big one. So whether it's just school education or just education in general, once people are educated in any field and kind of can get a job and get on their feet, that would lead to less kids and another one is we, by the way, I think with this tech town, in some indirect way, must be educating people, which then must be lowering the population.
I thought you were going to say is leading to us not creating children.
Oh, well, I mean, sort of it's the same thing. All of the above, I don't know.
I don't know. We've been eating all the Soylent.
Well, that may cause no more children too. We'll check back with you with that one. Remember samples afterwards. So yeah, not quite sure if our education will do it, but education in general is a big one. And another thing that's related to is the internet and the proliferation of education for everybody, hopefully.
Right. And I'd also like to point out that where you said the attempts at having kids under the reduced infant mortality rate.
Oh, yeah.
Less child deaths, less attempts at having kids.
Well,
which you should you not attempt?
Well, hold on. No, we're getting there. So, right. So,
maybe it's lots of attempts, just failed launches.
No, right. No, that's real. That's what happened. That's what I'm saying. And that people back in the day, if you have kids that die, or even still, if you have kids that don't make it, then you're more likely to try to have more kids, and then you end up with more kids surviving, and you just end up having more kids. So if you actually have less infant mortality, you'll try to have less kids, and then you'll end up with less kids. So it actually is that way of curbing overpopulation. So there you go. Ha!
But you can keep practicing.
Keep practicing, sure. And then we'll get to the birth control. And then, using resources more efficiently. So right now, we're basically using resources like we're crazy. Mm-hmm. So we have, coal that we're burning. We're going to get to the energy part of all this. But the idea is that if we can use the same amount of resources or less resources, then we could actually fit the amount of people that we have. Because right now, if you imagine Manhattan, there's no way, or even better example is Las Vegas, there's no way that is actually supposed to be habitable for people.
Right.
But we're forcing it because we're using resources.
Even Portland, the city that we live in, we've got to import resources.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere. So, if we can get better at that, and we'll talk about ways of that. So,
right.
Yeah, so overpopulation.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you did an all right job.
Check.
Okay, boom, solved.
Fix that.
Yep. Okay, so talking about inefficiencies, what about inequalities?
Inequality.
Segue.
Yeah, nice work. So inequality. All right, so that was a good one, right?
Yeah.
Inequality.
Inequality. So some people got a lot and they just blow it on stuff, and then there's other people that don't got much and they're scraping by day to day. They're the hungry ones.
That's true.
What are we doing to try to even the playing field?
That's a good point. Okay, so one thing I think that is really kind of a fun take on that I think everybody can get behind is the sharing economy.
Okay.
So there are a lot of services that come out, internet services, especially apps and websites in the last 10 years, that are about sharing. It's about reusing things rather than getting new ones. So there's Ubers, which is sort of car sharing, or ride shares, or Airbnb, or there's tool sharings where you can share just household tools between people. And so that kind of thing, instead of everybody just goes out and buys a new hammer and then they just have to make a bunch of hammers, or plastic, everything that they make that you could just borrow from your neighbor or share, they now are using the internet to actually connect the people. Before you do it, wouldn't know who has it, who has this extra hammer,
right?
Or are they trustworthy?
Right, the rich guy.
Yeah, well, he probably does, yeah. And but he may not be willing to share. Right. So, or maybe he is. So that's why now you have all sorts of these apps that are trying to facilitate, instead of making something new or paying a lot to rent it from this company, you can actually share it with just your neighbor or someone close by. So the reason the sharing thing, you have a lot of people that are trying to just buy, and if you can be a little bit more sharing, I think that'll really change the dynamic of how we sell things, which would change a little bit of the inequality. All right, so for inequality, I was saying data-driven legislation. This is a pie in the sky deal, but I think that if we get our laws made a little more by facts and data,
right,
then we can do better on this issue. We have crazy people saying crazy things. Right. If we had people saying, here are the facts, and now here's the solution, that sounds good to me. And I feel like we could probably get rid of quite a big inequality gap.
We started doing that, and that's why global warming has been solved.
Oh, we're not even there yet.
Because all of our politicians recognize it as being a real thing.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because the data says that.
Yeah.
Right.
See, exactly my point.
Maybe some charts or something that start to convince them, some sweet infographics or something.
They go crazy with their charts.
So basically, the thing is all of these legislators at some point are going to listen to the people who they are legislating over. Supposedly.
Yeah, but I just don't know.
So maybe educating that populace and then trying to, empower people.
Yeah, I'm saying data-driven. Let's just have the data on the table, and you can't even say no.
Right.
It's like this is the climate, and this is changing, and there you go.
Right.
So the thing is, we already have that in quite a few ways, and you're right. They're just not. They're not saying.
That's why it's a pie in the sky.
Exactly.
And we're eating it.
I'll eat that.
Yeah. Solved.
Solved. All right, there you go. All right, one more thing is the internet. The internet's really good for inequality. There are people that would have no access to information or opportunity, and now they do. It doesn't solve everything, but at least gives them a fighting chance.
Right.
So,
and social media is a really good example of that. You look at the way that the Arab Spring.
Exactly, yeah. The way that people can kind of rally around a different cause, support each other, that will help.
And everything's 100% better in Egypt now.
See, yeah, all these problems, man, we're tackling them one by one.
Which brings us to.
All right, so
so we're talking about these legislators that are still, bringing snowballs into the Senate and throwing them at people, saying, "So the global warming's not happening. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, well, that hopefully will go away.
Okay.
And I'm just saying, give them data.
But what are we?
Numbers.
All right. So, but what are we going to do? How are we going to stop that? If everyone decides it's happening,
okay. So
now what?
Okay, I think you're leading to a segue. Yeah. Global warming.
Yeah,
is that what we're talking? All right.
Okay.
So global warming. That's a big problem. Let's solve that one. All right. So number one, for the reason global warming is happening, as far as we can tell, is because humans are putting out a bunch of emissions. We got gas.
Yeah.
So we need to have a sustainable source of energy production.
Right.
Right now we're burning coal, natural gas, and it's getting a little better with the natural gas thing, but it's not good. Not sustainable. It's only going to continue to add carbon to the atmosphere, and we're going to get warmer. It's just going to happen. It's happening. There was no mount there. So how are we going to do it sustainably? Well, it's pretty much the things we've talked about on this show. It's things that everybody knows. It's about renewable energy. It's about solar. It's about wind. It's about hydro. It's about, they have cool forms of, biology. There's microbes that are going to eat stuff and release energy.
Right.
It's all out there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just
even the sharing economy. If you only got one car in the neighborhood,
yep,
use it a lot less.
Absolutely. But it just on the producing side, we're going to have fancy tricks in the future, and I'll talk about a couple of those. But really, we have the technology again that it takes, and so it's all the stuff that you've heard about, and the cost of it is all coming down. And so really, it's just again in politics. So let's get on that renewable energy production. We're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right,
let's do it.
All right, so we had a whole show on energy efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and watch that show. Energy efficiency, that'll do it too.
Yeah, among 49 other topics.
Yeah, that's true. All right, nice.
48, I guess. This counts as a new one.
Yeah. All right, so, okay, well, let's talk a little weirder ideas.
Okay.
Global warming should not necessarily be solved by these futuristic tech ideas. They should really be solved the right way.
Okay, so you're saying, wait, tech is not the answer?
I'm saying tech is the answer in the ways I just mentioned.
Okay.
The future ways are more fun to think about, but I'm not advocating necessarily. We can cool the planet with technology.
Right.
One way to do it is release a bunch of sulfur in the air. So I have an article in there. We can look at it later. It's in the show notes in the description under the video. If it's basically like when a volcano erupts and all this sulfur goes in the air, it actually will block out the rays and it will cool the earth.
I feel like I've been on a one-man sulfur emitting mission, for the past.
Is that because you went to the taco stand?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, by the way, El Quixote is our unofficial sponsor. Best tacos in Nopo.
That's right, yeah. Oh, yeah, just right next door.
Unofficial sponsor.
Oh, yeah. So sulfur, yeah, you can shoot a bunch of sulfur in the air. Scientists could do that. You shoot a bunch of sulfur and it will cool the earth. The thing is, what are the consequences of that? When volcanoes erupt, not everything's just fine. And a bunch of sulfur is in the air is not just fine.
I think you got some really cool Van Goghs that year that Krakatoa went off.
Yeah.
So we got that going for us too if the one goes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Some real cool reds.
Oh, yeah.
Like burning sunsets.
Yeah, very nice.
Like in the middle of the day.
Solving that boring sunset problem too.
I've had it. Yeah, the middle of the day sunsets.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. I take it back. Let's go with this technology.
Yeah.
Shoot some sulfur.
Jupiter every day.
All right. Okay. So the other alternative, just in case, for global warming, let's say it starts heating up. We have real problems. Cities are going underwater.
Yeah,
well,
serious stuff.
Turns out we can go to Mars. So maybe the world just gets hot and we go to Mars.
All right. So that's the Total Recall.
Yeah, that's the Total Recall solution. So hopefully it doesn't have to go there. But if we need, we call up Arnold and get him on.
It looks like it's gonna be really bad for acne. I don't know if we're gonna be able to handle that.
Yeah.
Heads are gonna pop off our shoulders.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Dude, I'm trying to keep up. All right. He's like, he teaches me about jokes. I teach him about text. I have a lot to learn.
By the way, the door is locked from the inside.
That's right. Going all night.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the water's up, but you can't drink it, which is basically what's happening right now. There are certain places where drought is hitting places.
Yeah.
There are companies that are gaining control of water rights. There are countries that are gaining control of water rights.
Yeah.
They're throwing down. They're not letting everybody have it. That's going to be the battle of the future.
So you're saying water?
Yeah. What's up? How are we going to solve that with technology?
Okay, good question. Yeah, water. Water, it seems like we've got a lot of it, but it turns out it's not all usable. So we have a lot of places where you can't get access to good water in the world. So there are actually a lot of great technologies for that already exist. This is the kind of thing where they have these magic bottles that you would hope that they have that will filter out all the bad stuff. So there's great TED Talks on it. And you can watch, he'll just pour all this terrible, goopy, gross stuff it has, human waste and mold and all this stuff, and then pour it right out and drink it. So we have these amazing filters. So let's just get them to people. It doesn't necessarily get rid of every
mixes well with soil.
Oh, yeah. You got to have clean water with your soil. Yeah.
Clean poop water with soil.
Yeah.
Doesn't get much better than that. Yeah.
So yeah, check out these filters. I mean, you can get them for a really reasonable price, and they work really well.
Right, and so you can use those, and people do use those hiking and everything now as just water filters.
Yeah, the average ones you get hiking are pretty good, but not super hardcore. But there are these super hardcore ones that you can dip into a muddy, gross, contaminated puddle and get drinkable water out of it. So there are waters that won't work for, and one big example is salt water. So the filters won't filter out the salt that way. So you have another technology, which is desalination. So there's ways to take salt out of water. So you can take seawater and you can make drinkable water out of it. Historically, it's been super energy inefficient. So it just takes a lot of power. You got to use tons and tons of power, probably burn a lot of coal or something like that to then get your water drinkable.
Right.
But that technology has actually gotten a lot better. It's like all these other ones. It's still getting better. So they're building these desalination plants. I have a link to a plant that they're building in California. And it's $1 billion project. And it's going to be responsible for however many zillion gallons of water. And it'll work. So it'll take energy. And it's not necessarily the best plan. But if they can get that to be reasonable in cost, we have a lot of salt water out there.
Right.
And it's not perfect. There are issues with kind of where does the salt go and putting the salt back out into the other water, and it makes it more salty. But there are ways around it. So I'd say desalination, probably one of our big saviors if we can figure it out.
Wow.
And again, we already have figured it quite a bit. Okay, and then I have another article in there about 10 ways that tech is changing water. So there's all sorts of ways that people have interesting takes on it. Sometimes it's filtering the water, but sometimes it's just being able to transport water or store water. So
all right, so what about on the opposite end of the spectrum? What are we going to do when our star, the sun, burns out?
Sun burning out.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
Okay.
How are we going to solve that?
That's a pretty difficult situation.
Can't fly to Mars.
Well, hopefully we're already there, but it's a good point. Even if we're on Mars,
right.
I think we may still have issues. But the idea is we just have to have a biosphere,
right,
or some contained area. And I was looking, there's an article that says we could survive.
Right.
So I guess the way
Are
you do
you sure
it.
the article is not a movie made in the 1990s called Bio?
Yeah, Pauly Shore, right? Yeah, right? That was real?
Yeah.
Documentary, you mean? So it turns out they actually made these things. There's
right.
Biosphere and Biosphere 2.
Right.
And they are complete contained environments, and that they're trying to make sure that we could live off them. So it would be something like that. We would still have real issues because the sun provides a lot of the energy that these things are using. But there may even be enough heat in the bottoms of the ocean. So theoretically, you could actually be heated enough if you're in a submarine near the bottom of the ocean. If the sun goes out, the Earth's heat that the Earth generates would be enough, maybe.
Down in the ocean.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's a bit of a stretch.
It's not going to be the most fun life, but I'd say it'd be amazing if we could actually do it, and
right.
we may be able to if we have one of these containers.
No, if Leviathan has taught me anything, I do not want to go down to the bottom of the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the one where they go down the bottom of the sea and then they find the old shipwreck and then they drink the booze from the shipwreck and then the evil thing comes up in the people and then
okay.
Yeah, it sounds horrible.
Okay.
Is that and Land of the Lost? Those are the two ones that I know of where people go way down in the middle of nowhere.
Well, but they didn't have the alternative, the
dinosaurs,
sun going out. Or anyway.
Okay, so let me throw another one at you.
Okay, yeah, what do we got? Salt.
All right, Asteroid hits us.
Okay, that's a good one.
Okay.
That's a big one, because that very well could happen. Asteroid could be coming at us. And
if anyone's seen Armageddon, you know that.
Very real.
Yeah, we got Bruce Willis on call.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's solution number one.
Yeah.
If for perchance that doesn't work, because it really wouldn't, because it's a terrible idea, because if you blow a nuke up in that asteroid,
right.
it's going to blow to pieces. And those pieces are now going to hit the Earth and destroy everything. So that blowing it up with a nuke, sorry, not a good idea.
But what if we blasted Aerosmith at the same time as blowing up?
Okay, and the music waves would direct the
music
energy.
Waves, yeah.
All right.
Separate it.
That's a plan B.
Steven Tyler's tears coming down for
give you
watching his daughter
on
the other side of the
All right, you try that one. I'll try a different method. So what I would try, and this is a fun one, and there's actually a video of Bill Nye the Science Guy explaining this. I don't know if you guys remember Bill Nye the Science Guy, but he's still at it. He's making moves, making YouTube videos. So he explains a bunch about it and kind of the history of it, what his idea is, which is really cool. and it's not just his idea, it's the idea, I think, of the scientific community in general, is as you have this asteroid, and it's coming towards Earth, here's the asteroid, smash it into Earth, smash it into Earth. The thing is, you could send something up and blow it up, and then it probably still smashes into the Earth. But their idea is if you send up not a rocket that would hit it, but a spacecraft or a module that would come really close to it, just the same way that gravity from the sun pulls on the Earth, the gravity of the probe that they would send out could pull on the asteroid. So it seems like it wouldn't be much, but if you send up something that has some mass, and it doesn't even have to be that much, it doesn't have to be, you know, a zillion tons, it's only a few tons, I believe, that can be enough. And if you catch it early enough, that will actually be pulling on the asteroid. Obviously, the asteroid pulls on it as well, but it can be pulling on it, and it can be pulling on that asteroid just to pull it enough out of orbit, or not out of orbit, out of the keyhole, I think is what they call it, but the place where it would pass the Earth rather than hit the Earth. So if you could detect it early enough, instead of actually hitting it, you wouldn't even touch it. You would just have another object really close to it, just kind of tugging at it slowly, bring it slowly off course so that it would miss the Earth. Now that is some physics.
Wow.
Wow, yeah. Give it up for physics. All right.
That object would be called the Flying Bruce Willis.
Flying Bruce Willis, yeah.
Flying Bruce
I'll
Willis.
give you that. Yeah, because it's attractive. Yeah. Okay, stretch it out.
Okay.
Stretch comedy. All right.
So let's what about disease?
Disease.
What about disease?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
how are we
that's
gonna
a tough one.
solve that one? MRSA, I hear, is coming back.
MRSA?
Yeah, meningitis. We getting that? Is that happening right now?
I don't know. Are we?
Yeah, I'm trying to stump you.
Oh, sure.
Did it work?
Well, yeah. No, we're not getting that because there's a few ways we're going to not get that. Number one, if you've ever seen Star Trek, they have the tricorder. They're coming out with that. So that is a scanning device that will just basically scan you for all of your medical problems.
Is this something on like a Kickstarter?
Wow.
Kickstarter.
This is not yet on Kickstarter. This is something that I think scientists are actually, well, there actually is a Kickstarter one. Maybe that's what you're talking about.
Yep.
There was a Kickstarter. There's the cheap version of this, which is probably going to be the Kickstarter. And then there's the real version of this, which I don't know if it exists yet, but they're getting to it. So the cheap version, I think, would be able to scan for things like pulse and temperature and blood pressure. But
this would be able to rapid scan, is what you're saying, kind of thing.
But scan for way more than that.
Wow.
This is actually scanning into your cells, you know, what kind of diseases may you have, and it can tell you the whole readout. It could, you know, theoretically look into your eyes and do a checkup on your eyes. So it'd be basically a doctor in a little device.
Right.
And they're getting there, and I have a link to an article that talks about it. They're getting there.
Okay.
All right, so a little more on the personal side of things. Apple's trying to tackle this a little bit. So with their Apple Watch that they're coming out with,
An apple a day, that's what they say.
they do say that, but I don't know if I agree with that.
No?
No, them apples too expensive. $10,000 for that watch? No way. All right, so the Apple Watch comes built in with something they call Research Kit. And Research Kit is, I think it's a program that you have to specifically sign up for once you get the watch. But what it does is it will track your blood, your pulse rate, and I think your pedometer, your step count, and a few other things that it has sensors for. But the big deal is that you can submit that as scientific research to people, scientific research data if they need it. So there are colleges that want to study something about, maybe it's about people who have a certain lifestyle, and then they want to test the results. Instead of having everybody come into the lab, they can say, everybody who's signed up for this special research kit thing on your watch, all you have to do is say okay, and they'll get to use them as test subjects without them having to do anything different.
Wow.
Or maybe they can sign up for something specific. But the idea is that now, just instead of labs with a couple test subjects, you can have everybody out there helping you try and figure out some of these diseases.
That's crazy. So is it going to get from a database from like WebMD or something like that? Or?
So it's not quite clear how they're actually going to make it work. All they know is that they made this watcher that can sense stuff.
Right.
So the idea is that they're going to now have the ability to take that information and do something.
Right.
But what are they going to do? What are they going to choose? That's what they're still
So I foresee all of the Apple Watch wearers who are hypochondriacs all of a sudden, going to the doctor with
probably so.
Cancerous signs.
But maybe they'll be more accurate than what they're worried about. Maybe they'll tell them you don't have problems,
right,
and they won't worry about it. There you go. All right. So, and then there's a few fun futuristic ways that we'll solve disease. One of them I like is robots in the bloodstream. So imagine having nanobots, and they're going to be floating around through your bloodstream, and they're going to be scanning every cell that they see, and they're going to say, hey, does this cell have this disease or this cancer or this problem? And if so, get rid of it. If not, leave it be, which would pretty much solve a lot of problems.
Wow. I don't know if I like the sound of that. Having a little robot in your bloodstream.
Yeah, it could be a little rough.
And then think about how getting a virus, like someone bumping into you, and then boom, like putting a bad robot.
Bad virus. Yeah.
It'd take a long time for the good robot. Like let's say it's at the end of your pinky or something like that to find it. And got to put down the end of your toe.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's why you played the video game of making your robot find the bad robot. That'd be cool.
There's an app for that.
All right, there will be.
Okay, so all right, let's get into some real issues now.
Okay,
real issues.
Yeah,
All right, so so let's say people that die, they come back and then start eating people who are alive's brains.
Yes, the old zombie conundrum.
Yeah, the dead people that come and eat the live people's brains.
Okay, so obviously we're most prepared for this. Okay. So number one, we have this website. You got to check this out. This is called brandsversuszombies.com. So check out brandsversuszombies.com. This is all the different ways that all these different companies can help us solve the zombie apocalypse. So first of all, we have here. You can scroll down. We have the Amazon apocalypse. Obviously, there's a zombie knocking on your door, and you've got nothing to defend yourself with. Solution is.
Where are we going?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, place your order on Amazon Apocalypse, pack and ship, and then drone delivery, hack and slash. So you needed a hatchet. Amazon's drone will come, deliver your hatchet. Boom, you're set. Yeah.
Do a screen share here too.
Oh yeah, we've got so many screens going on. Oh my goodness. Sharing with the people out there, sharing with the people in here. All right. Then from IKEA, we've got the Zomblocket.
Boom.
So a nice do-it-yourself bolt for your door, so you can bolt on the door. So
now this guy looks like a zombie.
Yeah, he does, but no, he's actually I think trying to. Well, no, maybe the zombie's trying to eat the bolts from IKEA. You got to do it before he gets there. And
solution: repurpose your furniture.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then next we've got Airbnb Refuge. So Airbnb Refuge, you need a place to hide out, place to stay. I feel like this warehouse is probably high on the Airbnb Refuge list. If you need to hide out from the zombie apocalypse, we wouldn't charge too much.
But maybe your rating's low because you haven't had a shower in weeks, and you're gonna trash their place with your funk. Maybe you're bleeding a little bit, right?
Oh, is that what we do here?
Well, yeah. Well, that's what you're gonna do in a zombie apocalypse. So someone's gonna look at your rating. You have a low rating. They're not gonna want to rent to you.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
And be like, I don't want this stinky, refugee running around like in my Airbnb, right?
I think so.
That's how it works, right? They look at your rating, they're like, I don't want to rent to you.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you're gross.
No, so I won't rent.
Oh,
so
it says here that your dad's a zombie and your little brother is a zombie. No.
Yeah, no.
You got too many zombies in your family.
Yeah, you're right. We should refuse.
You didn't think about that, did you?
I didn't. Wow. So yeah, there you go. Air Zombie B&B.
Yeah.
So okay, then we've got Find My Family. You got to keep track of your family.
And this is actually one that they do use when there are certain natural disasters and stuff that are cool.
Absolutely,
So you can find your family, although that could be finding zombies.
Yeah, if your family turned into zombies, so it needs to have the feature where it detects if you're a zombie or not. Otherwise, you don't want to broadcast that location.
Right. That's where the robots in your bloodstream come into play.
Yeah, solve that zombie problem. That's the other way to solve zombie problems. So, all right, so these have a few other fun ones, but all right, so
there you go. So brands are gonna save us.
Yeah, brands are sort of gonna save us. Other ways to stop from the zombie apocalypse. So
you want to click on that?
That's
a safe place to write it out.
Yeah, let's write out the zombie apocalypse at fallingfalling.com. Yeah. Is that the way to go? I think this has been featured as Mr. Ellsberg's site of the week.
Oh, You've been falling. Oh no, is it gonna come up? That's right. You just got punked.
Okay,
in the middle of your tech town.
Yeah, I guess I got. It's like Rick rolled, but it's falling.
Yeah.
Here. All right, come on.
We never have technical difficulties here
No,
at
no,
Tech
no.
Town. Nope, we're still 100%.
Next topic on Tech Town is gonna be solving problems on Tech Town. How to do it.
How to do it. Yeah, it's gonna be a really
Solve
long
problems
episode.
number 1.
Yeah,
Refresh. Always try and refresh. Number 2. Give up. Okay.
Oh man, our online viewers are cracking
the
up
online
right
viewers love that one.
Oh yeah.
We got just 10,000 likes right there.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the biosphere. I was talking about the biosphere earlier, right? That you have this contained environment, and as long as you actually solidify it, the zombies can't bash it in. You know, they can do their zombie thing out in the wild, but you'll have a place of your own.
Right. So what about like animals going extinct? What about that?
Yeah, animals going extinct, right? That's a fun one because we are starting to be able to bring animals back from extinction.
Right.
So they have they have real programs that they're bringing back. Carrier pigeons.
Wait, you're talking about December 2015?
No.
Jurassic World?
Oh well, that's bigger than all these. Don't worry. That's
really there's really.
They're bringing back carrier pigeons. They're bringing back woolly mammoths. So, and it's not quite the Jurassic Park method of the amber mosquito, but it's there. They basically have the DNA of some of these extinct animals, and they're using chickens to be able to hatch these birds, or existing pigeons that are like the pigeon, but then they inject some DNA.
Right.
So we're going to be able to bring these things back.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they say chickens are one genome away from Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, and that's why with the dinosaurs, that's what they would use as a chicken to be able to try and hatch the dinosaur. So
not too far off.
It won't necessarily be the dinosaurs exactly as they were.
Let's go ahead and see what that would look like. That one you got there.
Okay. The what?
The animal extinction, the reviving.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you got rolled again. It's actually heelslap.com.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Okay, I got heel slapped. Oh man.
Yeah, look. Yeah, you thought you were gonna.
I can't do it on here. It's too much.
Messenger pigeons.
Wow. Okay, so yeah. I'm just getting had right and left. All right. Well, nice work. See, that's how you solve animal extinction. So you bring up Jurassic Park. Really, that's what every kid's dream is, to be able to get Jurassic Park and get real dinosaurs. We're not going to be able to quite get it, but we're getting close. And there's a good TED Talk that talks about it. This guy has good ideas. He's going to get close.
Very cool. So energy, we've talked about it before here at Tech Town. How are we going to get everyone all of their energy needs?
Energy needs, right? Okay, so renewable energy sources.
Cheap price, so we don't have to tear up the world.
Yeah, renewables. That's the way. We have great opportunities for resources for wind, solar in places that have sun, and even in places like here. I talked to the company Solar City, which is a company that will put solar panels on your roof, and then their business model is they actually will own them. They'll do it for free, and then you just pay them a little bit instead of paying your utility company. So the idea is that you would sort of be paying either the same or less than you are to your current utility, but it's just to them, and then they're generating their electricity from solar panels. So that's an interesting way of doing it, saying you don't have to pay anything. You just pay what you normally pay, and you're doing solar power now. So that's pretty good. There are some issues with that. We haven't gone with that yet. And solar panels are becoming cheaper and cheaper, so you could buy them yourself. But even in Portland, I thought that was amazing that even where we think it's rainy and cloudy, still has usable solar energy.
And is that going to be the only solution that we have?
Oh yeah. So wind is a great one. Also, let's talk about some fusion. Come on, we got to get some fancy fixes.
You're talking
somewhere.
About like Mexican and Korean, like bulgogi tacos?
Not quite as tasty.
No.
I know, but tasty for energy.
Okay.
It'll give you a lot of energy. Yeah, how about that? All right. So the idea with this fusion is basically the magic solution. It's not quite like nuclear power like we know it today. It's this black box, this machine that you could theoretically make that would do nuclear fusion within it, and then produce energy, and it'd be all cheap and amazing. This has been around for a while. The idea has been around. A lot of people say that it's not actually possible. Some people have come out and said, we figured it out, and then it hasn't been proven. So It's not necessarily there yet, but at least Lockheed Martin, the big company, the aerospace company that makes a lot of rockets and things, they said they have a way that they're doing it.
Okay.
So they call it compact fusion. And again, I'm not convinced, but they're a pretty big name, and so maybe they have something going on. So I'm not sure it's the end-all be-all solution. But
and what kind of waste does that produce?
So I think the waste of that, we got to read up on that, but I think the waste is not supposedly harmful. I think it's, you know, what, water and heat or something. One of these like super simple bits of waste because it's this magic machine. But
right, they put them in these long tubes and they just shoot them at countries that don't agree with us.
Yeah, that's the other way of doing it. That's no good. This is different than that.
Okay.
Yeah, we have that too.
Lockheed Martin.
Well, they do that, right?
Right.
Yeah. Hopefully we actually
it's an easy solution.
We do the real.
It is export. They export the waste.
Man, yeah, not a good way. Let's keep it here.
Which brings us to our final saving the world.
That's right.
All right, there's too many people in Portland.
Yes.
All right, so how are we going to solve this problem? There's too many people. The rent's too damn high, as they say in New York City.
All right, we're done with that. No one needs to know that. All right. So, okay. Too many people coming to Portland.
Too many people.
Yeah. First of all, we gotta be weird enough to keep the people out.
We gotta get weirder.
Weirder, right?
Weirder.
We've been weird for a while. We gotta get weirder because people are. That's like a nice thing, and people think that's fun and want to come here and see the weird people.
No, we gotta get like strange, weird, like long stairs.
Yeah. Everybody that comes here from out of town just stare at
stairs.
Yeah. I think that's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we can. We're up to the challenge. I feel like you could do it at least. All right.
The next Tech Town will be with or without pants. Tune in to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
From out of town, please just watch on the internet.
Yeah.
Never come. All right.
Another benefit of global warming, lack of embarrassment.
No.
Comparative, if it was cold.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. Wearing the shorts or no pants?
No pants.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, no pants.
Cool. All right. Another way we can do this. I was thinking.
Yeah.
We gotta keep making the Portlandia shows.
Okay.
Because if you put those on the internet, and then everybody sees that, they think, okay, I get Portland. I don't need to go there. Because I feel like you've talked to a lot of people and like, oh yeah, I've seen Portlandia. I know Portland. Right. So not true. Portland's different than that. Well, actually, it's pretty much that. But it also has more. But if they see the show, we make a whole show about it. Then why do they need to come here?
But you're also supposing that people are going to see something that they like and then not try to go to the place where that thing is happening.
So maybe this goes back to rule number one, which is we got to be super weird. And on Portlandia, they got to be super weird. So that
no punchlines.
Yeah.
There's too many.
It's true. It's too good of a show.
There's something no one's ever said.
Right.
There's too many punchlines in Portland.
Yeah. So maybe next season of Portlandia will just show landscapes of like garbage and broken buildings.
Garbage landscapes.
Yeah. So that nobody thinks it's fun. Nobody wants to
go to the place where we're shipping all of our compost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just put the smell into the screen.
Oh, smell-o-vision. That's another one that'll save the world too. So we'll do that next time. So, okay, and then the last way we're going to save the world by keeping people out of Portland is a giant dome. So I don't know if you guys saw the Simpsons movie. They put a giant dome over the city. It was actually, I think, to keep the city from getting out because they were doing bad things. They were polluting. But in any case, just cover the whole city with a giant dome. And, we'll move on from there. It's basically the biosphere plus keeping people out of Portland. So all-around solution.
Nice. I like that one. I like the dome.
Yeah. So wait. So I gotta ask you. So the number one problem in the world that we're solving here is too many people moving to Portland.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
I thought. Oh, you said our world.
Oh, our world.
Yeah, our world.
Like, I had this whole thing going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you dirty clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's in there too.
That's a big one. Yeah.
I withheld that one.
Yeah.
Because I did my laundry.
Laundromats or washers and dryers. They already invented that technology.
Right.
Nice.
So this is how we're going to save the world. We hope you enjoyed that segment. That's right. The door is locked.
That's right.
You thought you were getting out.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Well, we only have a couple more segments. It's going to be real quick.
Yeah. So, just want to jump on that website and then get some. So, which brings us to our right.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
wait, in between segments, we'd like to remind you that we're unofficially brought to you by El Quixote, which is the taco shop next door. Delicious, delicious tacos for $1.25. As of 2 months ago, they switched it. It used to be $1. So now we're walking around with a bunch of quarters, which is great if you need to make a wish or something and you're walking by a large body of water. That works. Otherwise, they're really worthless these days. And they've got carnitas now. El Quixote, our unofficial sponsor, which means the coyote in Spanish.
Excellent. All right. So go ahead.
Which brings us to our
copy and pasting. Boom.
Oh.
Okay.
Brings us to
Our music segment of the week.
Music. We got some music.
Keep going. You got
Music.
it. And then
Music.
nailed it. All right. So this week's music site is one we've done before, but we gotta jam to it.
Really
so
like this one.
all right, so I'm going to be playing this online music game that anybody who wants out there can join in on. So all of you guys watching out there, you just go to plink.dynamo.com. It was the same one we had 2 weeks ago as the website of the week. And it's this interactive multiplayer music where you just have to be clicking, and other people who are there too are clicking, and they make the music.
So if you're online and you look right now, you can go to what are we? We're sneaky.
Oh, we're sneaky plinker.
We're the sneaky plinker.
All right, so I'm clicking, and I'm making music, and there's another sneaky plinker online. And we got, yeah.
Plinker.
Oh yeah. So you can't see what I'm doing, but yeah, check out the sneaky plinker. I think we've got at least 6 more Tech Town viewers in here playing with us. So all you have to do is click down and you play the music. Oh yeah, there's more people joining in.
And that's our
music side of the week. Nice, good work. All right.
So that pretty much brings us
for the security. Finally,
finally.
the security segment of the week. Security. Gotta give a shout out to our segments. We've been doing this pretty much every show, so good work. Security is door locks.
Door locks.
Ha ha! Locked. Got you. All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right.
Thanks for joining us.
It's a common theme.
All right.
Like comedian, common theme, right up there. That's right. We're gonna drop the mic.
All right. Well, I think that's about it.
That's the door locks. Yep. Okay. Thank you so much for dealing with it for the last hour.
Yeah.
We usually just run these segments about 20 minutes,
That's
and then we goof off for about 3 or 4. But that's it. So thank you for tuning in, and we're going to take some questions from the studio audience. But if you have questions online and you want to see topics in the future, or if you have questions about this Tech Town, please put in the Show Me More section on the YouTube video. And yeah, thanks again so much for tuning in, and we will see you. Thank you to our studio audience.
Yeah, all right. Give everybody a round of applause.
And thank you so much.
Yeah, do you guys have any questions? I don't know, Tech Town in general, problems with the world that can be solved by tech? Oh yeah.